Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into something that has puzzled Pokemon fans for years. A fascinating contradiction at the heart of the series we grew up with. We're talking about the one, the only, Ash Ketchum, and why his journey, despite being incredibly epic, makes almost no logical sense when you really break it down. For so many of us, Ash and his partner Pikachu are the face of Pokemon. We've watched them since Ash first got his starter back in Pallet Town. Their adventures span decades in our world, from 1997 all the way to 2023, taking us through countless regions, meeting incredible Pokemon, and battling powerful trainers. It felt like the journey would never end. And then, it happened. After all these years, all these gym badges, all these league losses and near wins, Ash finally achieved his ultimate goal. By winning the World Coronation Series, he became a world champion, officially recognized as the strongest trainer in the Pokemon world. It was an emotional moment, the culmination of a lifelong dream. But here's the part that makes you scratch your head, the part that feels like a glitch in the matrix of the Pokemon anime. There are two major things about Ash's story that just don't add up, no matter how you look at them. First, the most obvious one. Ash never seems to age. He starts his journey at 10 years old, ready to receive his very first Pokemon from Professor Oak. And throughout all his travels, all his leagues, all his growth as a trainer, he appears to remain exactly 10 years old. We, the audience, aged, the world changed. But Ash stayed perpetually the same age. How is that even possible? Are Pokemon journeys some kind of time stasis field? Second, and maybe even more confusing, is the speed of his success. The article points out that Ash becomes a world champion after what is suggested to be only about a single year of training in the anime's timeline. Think about that. When we first meet Ash, he's a complete rookie. He overslept and missed the usual starter Pokemon. He got Pikachu, who initially didn't even like him. He barely understood how battling worked, accidentally made a wild Spearow furious, and had to be saved by Pikachu in that iconic first moment. He needed friends like Brock and Misty to help him learn the basics of type matchups and strategy. Fast forward through regions like Sinnoh, where he showed incredible skill training a difficult Pokemon like Infernape or Kalos and Alola, where he built some of his most powerful and memorable teams. For the World Coronation Series tournament, he brought out the big guns, not just his steadfast Pikachu, but incredible Pokemon like Sirfetch'd, Dracovish, Dragonite, Gengar, and his powerhouse Lucario, who could tap into the power of Mega Evolution, while Pikachu and Gengar could Gigantamax. He battled and defeated trainers who have spent years honing their craft, individuals who are considered the absolute elite of the Pokemon world. We're talking about gym leaders, Elite Four members, and even champions like Iris, Lance, Diantha, Steven Stone, Cynthia, and finally the reigning champion, Leon. These are trainers whose skill and experience were built over many years of hard work and dedication across various regions. And Ash, starting as a complete novice, reached this level of mastery, defeated these legends, and became the world's best, supposedly within a year of leaving Pallet Town. This level of rapid achievement simply doesn't align with how becoming a renowned trainer is typically portrayed, even within the Pokemon world itself, where becoming a champion takes serious time and effort. Now you might be thinking, okay, but it's an anime. It doesn't have to be realistic, and that's a valid point. But what makes it even more confusing is when you look at the original inspiration for Ash Red, the protagonist from the very first Pokemon games. Red's story in the games also starts in Pallet Town, and he also becomes the champion of his region. This journey likely takes around a year in the game's timeline. But here's the key difference. When Red appears in later Pokemon games like Pokemon Gold and Silver, which take place a few years after the originals, or even Pokemon Sun and Moon, which are much later, Red has visibly aged. He is shown as older, having continued his training and journeying over a longer period. His progression makes sense within a more traditional timeline. Ash, who mirrors Red's beginnings in many ways, travels to new regions just like Red did after becoming a champion. But Ash does it seemingly without aging, and achieves the ultimate title in a fraction of the time implied for Red's overall journey. This comparison highlights just how unique, and frankly how illogical Ash's timeline and development are. How can the anime counterpart to a character whose journey takes years and shows aging achieve even more in such a compressed, ageless time frame? It leaves us with so many questions. Is there a reason he doesn't age? How did he become so incredibly powerful so quickly compared to other trainers? Is it just a narrative choice we're meant to accept? Or is there something more going on? When we last saw Ash and Pikachu, they were heading off on another adventure, leaving fans wondering if we'll ever see him again, and if we do, Will the mysteries of his age and rapid rise finally be explained, or will he forever remain the perpetually 10-year-old world champion? It's a fascinating paradox that makes Ash's legacy even more intriguing. What are your theories on why Ash doesn't age and becomes a world champion so fast? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this deep dive interesting, please hit that like button to let us know. Share this video with any Pokemon fan you know who might also be puzzled by Ash's journey, and don't forget to subscribe for more explorations into the world of Pokemon.